Okay. Take 7. Everything is on. Alright. Cool. So make sure I can hear myself on here. And then we will start. I can. Alright. So today is Ephesians 4:2, with all lowliness and gentleness, with long suffering, bearing with one another in love. In Ephesians 4:2. Alright. And if you want to donate to the podcast or go help on the fundraiser, go to ko-fi.com/Genuine Christian Content. I've said a million times, I'm the sound guy for the Take Me Deeper podcast, so that would be amazing to help with. Alright, so with that being said, welcome to my live, and we are going to listen to the Take Me Deeper podcast on Spotify.
Jesus, won't you take me deeper into the very heart of God? Ooh, Lord, help me to know your will. Father, the strength to carry on, 'cause I wanna go where you send me, and I wanna be what you made me. So may all of the other room in my heart burn. Lord, may all of the other room in my heart burn.
Take Me Deeper podcast is a ministry of Machias Christian Fellowship located on 3 Davis Road, Machias. Our service times are Sunday morning, 6:30, 8:30, and 10:30. We observe communion on the third Sunday of every month. Sunday evenings, junior and senior high youth group meet at MCF from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Monday evenings at 7 p.m. we have the Arise Addiction Recovery meetings. On the third Monday of each month, they have a potluck and testimony night, which starts at 6 p.m. We have prayer meeting on Wednesday night at 5:15 p.m., followed by our midweek service Wednesday night at 6:30.
For those of you in the Machias Christian Fellowship listening area, there's a conference coming up in January. It's the Freedom's Legacy Conference on January 31st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Confirmed speakers Robert Cross, Bobby Charles. There were other people that they're trying to get. It's open to attendees between the ages of 15 and 30. Well, they can enter free. All others, $20 could come in. The Bright Arrow Group is a fellowship ministry of MCF. Donations to this ministry can be made through the church website at ccmachias.com. Arise Addiction and Recovery, helping people find freedom from addiction through a personal relationship with our Lord Jesus Christ. For more information on their website at ariseaddictionrecover.com, the church website also has a donation button. Coastal Crowns make handmade hats stitched with care right here in Maine. They are all about that laid-back coastal lifestyle. Built for the dock, the boat, and the weekend grind. Find them on Facebook. Message Coastal Crowns, Dallas Richardson, or Brooke Davis for more information. Frame to Finish Carpentry LLC is a new business started by Joshua Earl. He will be doing carpentry and light construction. Contact number 207-263-5706.
Righteous Roofing and Renovations. Call 263-8368.
Eastern Wildlife Management is the name of my ministry. We have a Facebook page, and you can reach out to us on there, 207-598-8257. Tyler Farrington, FARRINGTON, 11@yahoo.com.
Daniel Hill, Daniel's Media, Photography and Videography, Media Design. Daniel's Media at myyahoo.com is his business email. Daniel's Media is also on Facebook, focused on photography. His YouTube is at Daniel's Media P1N, is focused on Bible content, live streams. Instagram, Daniel's _media 5721, is focused on Bible content and photography. Treasures of the Hill is a handmade crafting business of Amanda Hill, editor of this podcast, and my wife. Items include a wide variety of handmade, customizable options. She makes up the merchandise we have available. Check out the website at treasuresofthehill.com or contact Amanda through Facebook on the Treasures of the Hill Facebook page. Thank you for listening to Take Me Deeper. We are now available on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon. Facebook page is Take Me Deeper podcast, where you can interact with other listeners and the creators. And you can also email us at takemedeeperpodcast@gmail.com. Welcome to Take Me Deeper. I am Casey Hill.
And I am Nate Dudley.
I believe this is episode 29.
29.
I'm getting up. Before I go into this first thing that I want to talk about,
Okay.
I do want to say something that if you're just listening to this, but you're not reading along with us, and you're not searching and making sure what we're saying is right, then you've done yourself a disservice. I recently heard a pastor, because I do listen to pastors all day long. All of them have said, maybe you're online listening, and if you're only listening and you're not in the Word yourself, then you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't be like the baby bird opens its mouth and lets mama bird puke whatever they want to into our. We have to be more discerning than that.
We need to be diligent.
Yeah.
This day and age, it's not a time to sit comfortable. We've talked about it 100 times, but it is super duper important that we're doing that due diligence. And with that, verses taken out of context. Today's verse taken out of context is Philippians 4:13, which says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. One of the shorter verses out there, but it's on all kinds of cards.
No. Okay. I can do all things through Christ.
YOLO.
Like, what kinds of things are we talking about here?
It's used
All
for
things. Right?
It's used for a lot of things.
All right. Well,
Right.
let's get into it.
So let's get into context.
We
can go way back if we want to, but I'm going to start in verse 10. But I rejoice in the Lord greatly that now at last your care for me has flourished again, though you surely did care, but you lacked opportunity. Not that I speak in regard to need, for I have learned in whatever state I am to be content. I know how to be abased. I know how to abound. everywhere and in all things. And I have learned both to be full, to be hungry, both to abound and suffer need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Nevertheless, verse 14, you have done well that you have shared in my distress. I want to stop there for a moment and we'll pick up again because he just said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But then he said, you have been sharing in my distress. So that means when they're getting these letters, right, and they're seeing him show up and preach, he is shipwrecked, bitten by a snake. He's been thrown in prisons. So when we say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, some people have used it for business.
Yeah.
Their business is tanking. And instead of just letting it tank out and then maybe going at it in a different direction, it's like they do something very risky and try to put a Band-Aid on it. You know what I'm trying to say?
So it really comes down to this. I think what Paul is saying is when I'm doing the things that God has called me to do, I can do all of those things because he's the one that gives me the motivation, the power, the strength. He gives me the courage and the will, all of those things. If I'm doing the thing that God has put in my path to do, I can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the nutshell.
Yep. Yeah. No, I totally agree.
It's not I can do anything. I can do all the things that God wants me to do.
I feel like it was yesterday's proverb. So it's Tuesday, just for people that don't know. We did not record on Sunday. It's now Tuesday, and you sent out a proverb on Monday, and we started talking about how the bad things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? I brought that up. I said, bad man's going to come, bad situation's going to come.
Well, the verse, let's read it. I think we need to put that in context too.
Yeah.
Proverbs 19:23. The fear of the Lord leads to life, and he who has it will abide in satisfaction. He will not be visited with evil.
Right. Bad people are going to come
and do bad things.
Bad situations are going to come. But if we are abiding in who we say our Lord is, right? This is what Paul's saying. Paul's saying, I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me.
Right.
If I'm living, abiding in him, the outside, bad things are going to happen. He was thrown in prison. That's not good.
No.
Bitten by a poisonous snake. That's not good.
Usually, no.
No. If we keep going to verse 15 and on, now you Philippians know also that in the beginning of the gospel, when I departed from Macedonia, no church shared with me concerning giving and receiving, but you only. So he's talking about how there were times when he had nothing, and then all of a sudden something came in, right? And it's not like he's praising them. He's just saying, look, when I was in great need, you guys always pulled through for me. I mean, I think that's like an honor. He never asked for anything.
Right.
It's not like he's going around saying, hey, we get a lot of accusation on that. Oh, if you go to church, all they're going to do is ask for your wallet.
True.
And Paul's saying, I didn't ask anybody for anything.
No, he worked.
But there he was. Obviously, something was going on. And then whether it was money or food or a pillow, I don't know. I have no idea. He doesn't say.
Right.
Or even in Thessalonica, you sent aid once again for my necessities. Well, that sounds like maybe medicinal.
Maybe.
I don't know. Not that I seek a gift, but I seek the fruit that abounds to your account. Indeed, I have all and abound. I am full, having received from Epaphroditus the things sent from you, a sweet-smelling aroma, an acceptable sacrifice, well-pleasing to God. And my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. Now to our God and Father be the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
The reason we're going to be doing these verses taken out of context, and I've heard people say some really nutty things when it comes to, I can do all things. Yeah, you can do all things anyway, but it doesn't mean you're going to survive it.
Right. Well, I mean, Paul says, all things are lawful, but not all things are profitable or beneficial.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we can do all kinds of stuff as Christians. We have freedom to do all kinds of things, but it doesn't mean that we should do them.
Right. There are a lot of stupid things you
Yeah.
shouldn't do.
Right. I mean, there's verses that talk about don't put God to the test.
Right.
We're not supposed to do things to prove God. God's already proven himself. He doesn't need us to show the world that he can.
Yeah. There's only one place that happens in, and that's in...
Well, Gideon keeps asking God to, like, make this fleece wet.
Yeah.
And the ground around it dry. And then he says, make the fleece dry and all the ground around it wet.
Yeah.
And he does that 3 times, and God's like, listen, I've done all your tricks.
Yep, exactly.
Now you need to trust me.
It was something about the storehouses, right? Where the Lord does say, test me in this. But it's more of a...
Well, that's about tithing.
It's about tithing, but it's testing. It's still testing your heart.
Yeah.
It's not testing the Lord. All the Lord is saying is, if you do this, watch what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. You know, it doesn't mean that you're going to abound in everything. What he's trying to say is, where's your heart?
Right.
It still comes back on us.
How much do you trust me?
Exactly. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, so there's the... We are going to jump into Romans chapter 9, verse 14.
Here we go.
What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? Certainly not. For he says to Moses, I will see on whomever I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whomever I will have compassion. So then it is not of him who wills, nor of him who runs, but of God who shows mercy. For the scripture says to the Pharaoh, for this very purpose I have raised you up, that I may show my power in you, and that my name may be declared in all the earth. Therefore he has mercy on whom he wills, and whom he wills he hardens. You will say to me then, why does he still find fault? For who has resisted his will? But indeed, O man, who are you to reply against God? Will the thing formed say to him who formed it, why have you made me like this? Does not the potter have the power over the clay from the same lump to make one vessel for honor and another for dishonor? What if God, wanting to show his wrath, to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath prepared for destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he has prepared beforehand for glory, even us whom he called, not the Jews only, but also the Gentiles. As he says also in Hosea, I will call them my people who were not my people, and her beloved who was not beloved. And it shall come to pass in the place where it was said to them, you are not my people, they shall be called sons of the living God. Isaiah also cries out concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, the remnant will be saved. For he will finish the work and cut it short in righteousness, because the Lord will make a short work upon the earth. And as Isaiah said before, unless the Lord of Sabaoth had left us a seed, we would have become like Sodom and would have been made like Gomorrah. Wow!
This is heavy.
It is.
There's a lot of heaviness here, so we'll have to take it one verse at a time.
One verse at a time. We'll see how far we get through this. So that was 15 verses of me reading extremely slow because there's just so much.
Yeah.
I didn't want to blast through it.
No. So recap. We started out verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Paul was talking about national Israel,
mm-hmm.
pleading to his countrymen.
Yep.
He wishes they all could come to the knowledge of Christ, like he did. He even says, I would make a trade for my life in hell for all of my countrymen to know God the way that they're supposed to. There's that part. And then we start getting into the creation of Israel, like how they even came to be. He's talking about how God chose a man out of the Gentiles to like separate himself. I'm going to create out of you a great nation. And then there's the two sons, right? There's Ishmael and Isaac. He chose Isaac because Isaac was the son of promise.
Mhm.
And through Isaac and Rebekah, they had twins. And the prophecy was that God was going to choose the younger one to receive the inheritance and the blessing. All that to just say that God has a plan. So basically, what we're learning is God is showing us he's exercising his authority to make choices.
Mm-hmm.
He can choose one or the other, and he knows what's going to happen with this guy down the road. He can see all the future and the possibilities. He can see the other guy, how his family is going to progress and how it's going to interact with the world. He sees all that down the road. Well, if you were God and you knew all the options available, you could just say, before that all happens, I'm choosing Jacob, right? Because he know we covered that the last time.
We did. Yep.
So that's basically the background, that God uses his divine authority to make specific choices, and he can choose because he's God. Now we're in verse 14. It seems to some people that's a little unfair because we covered the whole Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. Well, that sounds unfair. Like Esau couldn't help the fact that he was born.
Yeah. And that's why Paul asked the question, is there unrighteousness with God? Right? Because it does sound a little unrighteous when you
it
say
sounds
that.
unfair.
The note I have is he has not closed the doors on anyone. Right? He loves those who come to him. And we talked about how he still blessed the other son.
Yeah.
Isaac and Ishmael.
You're going to be a great nation.
You're going to be a great nation.
Yeah. I was just thinking about Cain and Abel. Another choice, right?
Yep.
Cain was a tiller of the earth, it says.
Sure.
He was a gardener.
Yeah.
Abel was a shepherd, and he raised flocks.
Yep.
He sacrificed an animal. He gave it to the Lord, and the Lord accepted his sacrifice. And then Cain brought his shiniest tomato.
Right.
And God said, it's not what I'm looking for, man. Right. Do what your brother did.
Yep.
That's the thing, is God said, this is what I expect. Yep. You didn't do it right, but he gave him the option to fix it.
Because he said to him, if you do well.
Yeah.
Right? Some people have even pointed out that maybe his heart was all not right either. But here's the thing, when you think about the sacrifices that the Israelites did in the desert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cover a whole tent with a sacrifice.
Right.
There was no law of sacrifice with Cain and Abel.
Right.
So Abel giving that sacrifice, he wasn't asked to do that.
No.
And doing that would be a way of sanctifying his entire family, no?
Mm-hmm.
So Cain didn't even have to worry about it. But my brother seems to be getting attention.
Yeah.
It seems that way.
Right. So
So you're
a little jealousy.
In your mind, you're causing an unrighteousness in God.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. So I think it's the same thing where he reads, Jacob I have loved, Esau I've hated. Oh, is there unrighteousness in God?
Right.
He's trying to get us to think, like, is there? And of course he says certainly not. He answers the question because it is rhetorical.
Right. Well, as this section goes on, it seems to infer, it brings the Gentiles into it.
Right.
As if we're the second son, the younger son,
Ooh.
who God kind of predicts, I'm going to start spending a lot more time with the Gentiles.
Number 2.
And Israel, for the most part, is going to reject me, but there will still be a remnant, and I'll come back to them.
Mm-hmm.
I just nutshelled the whole passage that you just read, but I think that's the correlation you can draw, right? You know, we're seeing a repetition of choices. Esau was jealous. Esau made his decisions, and he sold his inheritance because he was not thinking spiritually. He's only thinking carnally, right?
Yeah.
There's all of these things. And Israel, they had their time with idol worship. They had their time with it. They were sent into captivity for 70 years. They got returned back to the land. They kind of were cured of idolatry.
Yeah.
But they kind of went the other way. They made their religion their God instead of God their God. I think they were so determined to never go back the way that they had been before. They were like, okay, these are the rules. These are the rules we're going to follow. And in order to make sure you don't break that rule, there's a bunch of other rules to protect you from even getting close.
Right.
We're gonna make rules that basically guide your life in a way so you're never tempted to break that rule,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like what our government does.
Right.
They're trying to legislate morality.
Right.
They've got all these rules for what you can and can't do because they're worried someone's gonna shoot somebody else with a gun.
Right.
So they make limits on ammunition and different components, and
mag sizes,
age limits, and
Yep.
you know they make it harder for a person to acquire a weapon. And their thought is if they can't get a gun, then
they can't kill someone.
They can't kill somebody
Yeah.
with it. How's Chicago doing with all that?
Well, England,
Or
they got rid of gun violence.
so did
completely.
Australia.
And then it turned into what? You remember?
Whatever else you can use.
It turned into knife violence.
Yeah.
So what did they do?
They banned kitchen knives.
They
all
banned
knives.
you could not go to the stores and buy a knife.
Yep.
So they eliminated selling of a knife. What happened in England? What did they go to next?
Pickup trucks.
No. Acid burns.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They went to dropping acid on people.
Yeah.
Like you're walking down the street and someone threw acid at you.
Yeah.
And not the acid that makes you go all loopy. We're talking about the burning
like hydrochloric acid.
Yeah. People are scarred for life.
Yeah.
Because, well, hey, we stopped gun violence and we stopped knife violence. Yeah, but now you got people burning people.
Right.
Because people that are violent are going to find a way.
Yeah. You know, a pipe bomb in the tube.
Oh.
You know, during rush hour or whatever. Yeah.
But it is funny in the United States, the cities that have the highest gun restrictions have the highest gun violence.
Yeah. Weird.
It is weird. How does that happen?
Because
you can't legislate.
Because gun laws don't affect criminals.
Right. It does not.
Criminals break the law.
What?
You can't make a law and expect a criminal to follow it because by definition, a criminal breaks the law. They don't follow it.
That's weird.
So it only affects the people that do follow the law.
I had a friend who kind of funny because it does make sense. He didn't lock the car anywhere he went.
Oh, just asking for it, man.
Well, no, the reason being he never had anything in his car. But he said, what does a lock do? It keeps people out of your car. He goes, yeah, the honest ones.
Well, yeah.
Because if someone wants to get in, they're going to get in.
Yeah, but I mean, at least it might take a little time. Like if somebody going by sees somebody like standing next to a car, and
someone might be, hey, they're jimmying their way in or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at least a patrol officer will stop and say, hey,
what you doing?
Like,
is this your vehicle?
Is this your car? Like, that kind of thing.
But yeah, that was his thought was, he never had anything in his vehicle that was worth anything, but he just like the locks only keep.
It's not so much what's in the vehicle that I'm worried about; it's the actual vehicle.
I mean,
I'd like it to be there when I come back.
There's insurance for that.
It's true, but I just don't.
But you want it now.
I don't like the idea of being stranded somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was funny because it's true. I mean, you're only stopping the honest people.
Yeah.
You're only stopping the good people from doing something.
Right. So we can say, to answer the question, is there unrighteousness with God? No way. No way. He knows what he's doing. He has a plan. We don't always understand it, but he's the one that gets to see down the road. We don't see it. It doesn't make sense to us. It does now. I mean, looking back at it, we can read the scriptures and, we can see it all laid out in front of us and track it and follow it along. And we can go, man, you are a genius, God. To see all these people come together at just the right time, in just the right circumstances.
Yep. The
Moabites showing up with Naomi from some other country, coming back to Israel, poorer than dirt. Like, hey, mister, can I glean in your fields? And he's like, not only can you glean in my fields, I'm going to marry you. Make a long story short. And then all of a sudden, now she's in the bloodline of Jesus. Like, who knew this?
Right. And you really go to my next point with that.
Okay.
15, 16, 17, 18. Okay.
All right.
So 15, I will have mercy on whoever I have mercy, right?
Mm-hmm.
16, so then it's not of him who wills. Further on, 18, therefore he has mercy on whom he wills. And my note there is his ways and things that happen are not for figuring out, right? He is supreme and he can choose and act the way that he pleases. The question is not, is there unrighteousness? The question is, do we trust? And does that trust lead to being obedient? Because you just brought up Ruth and the Moabites, right?
Yeah.
That whole thing could have gone sideways.
Easily
gone sideways.
Yeah.
But she kept just going to his feet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then eventually he was like, and he just took so much pity on what was going on.
And he's like, who's your husband? You don't have one?
Yeah.
Dang. We got to fix that.
I know. There you go. But like you just said, who would have seen that coming? Nobody. No. And again, his ways are not for figuring out.
No, they're higher than ours.
We will see the point of things and why things took place. There's a lot of weird, ugly, beautiful things that happen. And we can sit back and go, why this and why that? It's like when people say, what do bad things happen to good people? You know, and then he's like, okay, why do good things happen to bad people? You know, then you talk about the rain coming on to the just and the unjust.
Right.
You know, we don't know. And
we don't.
Why are we worried about it?
Yeah, you know, God will have mercy on whom he'll have mercy. Who knows the reasons why?
I think you're the one that brought it up a while back in one of our podcasts, having the reward. We talked about pastors, quote unquote pastors, who teach some really weird things, and then they talk about all the things that they've done, and you said they have their reward because they're bragging about it, right? And I think that really does play into the same thing of, okay, great, you did this great thing, so now just wait and see. You may not even see what it is that's going to glean from that.
No,
maybe that's not for you.
I think that's true, Casey, because there's a scripture that says there will be people that sow the seed, and then there will be people that water.
Yep. And then there are people that reap.
And God's the one that
he takes the increase.
He takes the increase. Yep. So like we don't know what process of that we're in when we meet somebody.
Right.
We don't know if we're watering the seed or sowing it for the first time in their hearing, or
think about it like this. I've never thought about it too much, but just because someone waters the seed doesn't mean you don't have to water it again.
Right.
Just because someone is fertilizing the seed doesn't mean that the next thing that you said
it all
makes an impact.
Right. It all leads to something.
Yeah. I think a lot of people take that and they go, someone waters, someone fertilizes, someone picks it. It may take a bunch of water.
A bunch of fertilizer.
It may take a bunch of fertilizer.
And you know, when Jesus is talking about the 4 types of soil, right? He's talking about there's the thorny ground, there's the seed that fell on the path.
Yep. On the rock.
And then there's the good soil. Well, I mean, we can cultivate some of that hard soil. We don't know how the Holy Spirit is going to use us and speak to us.
Yep.
How do we know that somebody who's been so hard and rigid and resistant to God's voice, how do we know that it's not something that we do or say that's going to make them soften a little bit?
Yep.
So it's funny, like growing up, I would hear people say, you know, I saved that guy.
That's weird.
Isn't it weird? A pastor took the 3 of us brothers into his office one day because my mom and stepdad were in the choir. So they'd have choir practice before the evening service. He brought us in and kind of told us that he saved somebody. I don't remember who it was. I think he thought he saved my mom, but it wasn't. He didn't save my mom. My mom got saved in Hudson Baptist, and a different pastor was involved in that. But it was just a weird thing to hear. Like, wait, I thought God saved us.
Right.
I even way back then, I was like, what do you mean you saved? Like, He's taking way too much credit for something that happened.
And when you do that, there's your reward.
Yeah, exactly.
You got nothing else.
Yeah.
Ow. Yeah. Good luck with that.
I like this little section where it talks about Pharaoh.
Yeah. Kind of blew over that.
You did. I want to go back.
Do it.
Well, I mean, we know in the account in Exodus it talks about how over and over it says, and Pharaoh hardened his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And Pharaoh hardened his heart. After every time, let my people go, and Pharaoh would say no. He'd go, okay, frogs, or lice, or flies, and then it was like blood, all that stuff, right? Utter darkness.
My favorite part is,
and Pharaoh kept saying, nah.
I like that with most, I think the first half was it. He's like, oh, entreat to your God and have them taken away. But then that stopped after a while.
Well, too. when piles of bugs and frogs, piles and piles and piles, start to rot,
smell,
you have to know it was gross.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it probably smelled like garbage, like worse than garbage. Where do you put all that stuff? They probably had slaves burying, dig this ditch, put all
set
that
them on
stuff
fire.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of that. But by the very end of it, right?
Frog legs for everybody.
At the very end of it, though, when the angel of death came and took Pharaoh's firstborn son. Well, does it actually say that, or was it just? I'm probably thinking about the Prince of Egypt.
I know.
Where he had his own son. That's probably not Bible. That's just my. Look it up. I don't think that it actually speaks about Pharaoh having a firstborn son that was killed in that. But the nation of Egypt surely did. It was like firstborn child, even of the animals too, right?
Yep.
There was all that death. That's when Pharaoh, he finally said, you can take your people and get out of here. And then once they had left, then God hardened Pharaoh's heart against the Hebrews. You could see Pharaoh, the progression was predictable, kept saying no to God over and over and over again. And then the final straw that breaks the camel's back, so to say, that Pharaoh, after he let all of those slaves go, is pacing in his halls, in his palace, and he's saying, what did I do? Thinking about what he just gave up in his kingdom. And all of a sudden, he's like, what am I doing? No way. I'm going to get all these people back.
No, it does not actually. It just says, and it came to pass at midnight that the Lord struck all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on a throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and the firstborn of the livestock. So Pharaoh rose in the night, he and all of his servants and the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
So he did lose a firstborn. I mean,
from the firstborn of Pharaoh. But some people pointed out that it could have even been.
It didn't have to be a son.
It didn't have to be a son.
It just could have been a daughter too, the firstborn,
or even someone in his immediate realm as well. So I've heard that because honestly, we don't know,
right? And it's not really the point I'm making.
Right.
The point I'm making is he was witness to all of those plagues.
Absolutely, and the miracle of the whole thing.
Right. The fact that when Moses asked God to stop it, it stopped. Is a miracle too. I think we forget about that, right?
I mean, what possesses you to?
All these flies come in, and they're just in everything, and all of a sudden God causes a wind to blow, and they just disappear.
Right.
What?
And you go, okay, one more time.
Yeah.
5 times.
Locusts, flies, frogs, lice. That's obnoxious.
And that's all it was.
Yeah.
It had to. I don't understand.
The boils would be horrible.
Yeah.
And then having boils in utter darkness.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Because that's all you can think about.
It's like you're in the dark and you're in absolute torment.
It's making me itchy.
So yeah, that's all. That's what I'm saying though. It's just pointing out again. These are choices that God is making on purpose to show us something.
Yeah.
It's his choice to make who he's going to choose to father the bloodline, who he's going to choose to have mercy on the people that he's not going to give his blessing to. And that's what verse 18 says. He's going to have mercy on the people that he wants to have mercy on, and he knows that there's going to be people that harden against him.
Yep.
He's going to let them have that choice.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, and in the next verse, it's like, why does he still find fault? Who is resisting his will? I mean, there's a lot of people out there shaking their little puny fists at God to this day, right?
Why have you made me like this?
Yeah.
You've resisted his will.
Word.
Why have you made me like this? Boy, people say that, don't they, right now?
Totally.
I was born this way.
Right. That right there. Can't tell me God wasn't on top of current events.
Yep. Does not the potter have the power over the clay to form the same lump and make a vessel, one for honor, one for dishonor?
Yeah.
I mean,
so
the clay doesn't talk back.
No, it just,
boy, but we are so called the clay, right?
Right.
We say, he is the potter, we are the clay.
But then when we
clay pots,
but we don't let God shape us.
No.
We're stubborn.
We're like the ones that someone's put the wax in, and then it sits out in the sun.
Not sincere.
Yeah, not sincere.
Yeah.
And that wax comes out.
That lose your nose.
There's that chip.
Yeah. Yep. Totally.
Just so everybody knows what we're talking about, that's literally what integrity means. Without wax.
Right. So yeah, the illustration is in the Roman times. People would buy marble busts of a Caesar or general or somebody. And once in a while, they'd get a chip on the face of some famous person, and the craftsman would use the wax to
cover the
hole, or to glue the nose back on.
Yeah.
And he would take the marble chips and mix it up with the wax so that you couldn't tell the difference.
And then you'd come by and buy it.
You'd go and buy it and be all excited, but by the time it got home and it was too hot, that wax would have had a chance to melt, and all of a sudden you've got a Caesar's head there with no nose on it.
The note I have is, you make as you see, because it was a famous stone cutter, statue maker. I don't know if it was Michelangelo.
It was Michelangelo.
Because they was asked, how do you get these forms with this granite? And he said, I'm not making it. It's already in there trying to get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it'll never complain. So God's made us for
Can you imagine
stuff. and we so want to complain. We so want to leave Maine.
Do you think if the Athena statue could talk, it would complain that it didn't have arms? Why have you made me thus?
Where are my arms?
Sorry.
Where have you put them?
That's all.
My arms have fallen off.
I had to interject.
But isn't there a Caesar statue that doesn't have a nose?
Well, a lot of statues that they've located are missing
all kinds of stuff.
Major parts, yeah.
We certainly think, or we say, oh yeah, no, the Lord has totally formed me and put me in this place and given me this ministry. And how many times is it that we sit back and go, man, I'm so glad this.
Yeah.
Man.
I think it takes some honesty and some growth and some spiritual maturity for someone to really look at where they are and say, God, you put me right here for this time. Like, and you read earlier in a totally different segment, but Paul says, in all things, my goal is to be content.
Mm-hmm.
No matter whether I'm abased or I abound, my goal is to be content.
I didn't do that on purpose.
No, I know you did.
But it does work.
It totally does. It's not being taken out of context.
No. No, because he's literally talking about a potter.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are being formed into his likeness, well, we are formed in his likeness, but if we're abiding, then we truly can say, I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me, as long as I'm living in his will.
Yeah.
And doing what he's asking, even when things are falling apart all over the place.
Yeah.
Because we know at the end, it's all going to fall into place.
Right.
But are we willing to trust him?
That's the ultimate question.
Yep.
we're getting in some verses starting in 22 that it kind of talks about, I think it's referring to some predestination kind of stuff. You think so?
Hmm.
And I know that seems to be a topic that people really split on. What's your take on predestination?
Oh, you want to talk about
Well,
predestined
well,
or
it says,
elect?
God is wanting to show his wrath, make his power known, endured with long suffering the vessels of wrath prepared for destruction. So what I hear the verse saying is that there are people that God knows that are going to choose him, and there's people that God knows that are not.
Mm.
He can say, because he knows ahead of time, these people were made to suffer destruction. It's not that he wants it, but he knows, right?
Yeah. And it goes on to say that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had prepared beforehand
So
for glory, even us whom he called, not of the Jew only, but also the Gentiles. So his mercy is displayed through us. And here he's calling out the church from the Gentile and the Jew.
Mm.
He's just calling them out. He's like, look, where are you at?
Yeah.
Where's your heart?
Mm.
You know, are you so set? I mean, because he talked about it before about the law and how the law doesn't save.
Right.
Right. I mean, we're going way back in Romans now. If that's the case and we're going through all of these things and we know that God's not unjust, then why are you, especially as a Jew, cramming all these Jewish laws on the Gentiles? But you had the Gentiles who are also acting in a boastful way, in a
we'll get there.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But here they are too, because they're saying, well, we don't have to be circumcised and we don't have to. I mean, how many times do we do that? I eat pork because I can, because I'm not a Jew. But when does that become, well, I mean, you guys are stuck in your ways, so good luck.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think from a Jewish man's or woman's perspective. They've grown up their whole lives very religious. Like, God expects this from me.
Right.
And this for me, and this for me. There's all these rules, and this is how I approach God. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes on the scene for 3.5 years. He shakes everything up, and then the nation kills him.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, like, people are talking about he didn't die. Well, he died, but he came back to life. And now all of a sudden, there's these Jewish converts everywhere, and they're talking about this Jesus guy. And everything that they're saying is like contrary to the way we've always been taught.
Mm.
One of the things that they were always taught was that the Gentiles are fuel for hell.
Right.
So it's really hard for a devout religious, I mean, Paul specifically, when he was still known as Saul, he never would have allowed for a Gentile to come into his religion. There's a process. Like, you have to proselytize yourself, and you're going to do all these things. And you can't just say, I believe, and then be accepted. It can't be that easy.
Right.
And you know that there's a whole group of Jews that were like, we're never going to follow Jesus because we don't agree with the Gentiles coming in and horning in on all of our actions.
Right.
That's a big, and it still is. It still is. That's a big area of contention.
Yeah. So just for giggles, back on your predestination.
Yep.
Because I feel like we put the nail in that a couple podcasts back, where I remember someone saying, do you want to be elect? Then you have to choose. Do you want to be predestined? Then you have to choose. So we don't know. And that's another one of those things that it is not for us to know who is and who is not. So the best thing that we can do is share that. And the best that someone who hasn't accepted, the best thing for them to do is accept it. That's my view on predestination, whether you're predestined to be in heaven or hell. It sounds awful when you say it that way. Oh, they're predestined to be in hell. Well, they weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
Because hell isn't for us.
Right.
It's not supposed to be. It is not for people. Hell is a place where God is supposed to lock away Satan and his little minions running around and running amok. The human being, Jesus sacrificed himself for it. God created us, and we're the ones that rejected him.
Yeah.
You know, so if you want to keep rejecting, then
so we have to go if we reject God, then we have to go to the place where those who reject God are going to be.
Yeah. If you want to be predestined for that, then keep rejecting. I mean, and it sounds harsh. It really does. Because, that's just not fair. Well, if my 6-year-old keeps doing the wrong thing, we take a quarter from her. If she does the right things, she earns a quarter. She knows that. All the kids know that. So if you're going to do all the wrong things, hit your sister, scream at mom, or whatever, if I turn around and say, well, hey, here's a quarter, we're not teaching anything.
That's not justice.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yes, there's mercy. And yes, there's justice, there's mercy, there's grace. There's also teaching and learning and hard knocks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, tell me that you haven't had a few hard knocks of learning being a Christian.
Many.
Yeah.
More than I want to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. We don't have enough time.
No, we don't. Nor do I want to expose myself that way.
Oh, no.
Right?
Right. But I'm just saying, I mean, how many times have we been told to do a certain thing? It's like, I don't want to do that thing. And you go down this other path and things went, I like using the word sideways. That's what happens.
Oh. And you don't feel peace until you go back to that spot and do that thing.
Right. There is a peace beyond all understanding, right? You settle into this thing, and I don't know about you, but I've had it 100 times where you take yourself into the right direction and you're not sweating anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow. Oh, okay. That's what he meant.
It's that rest.
Yeah.
That peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of things in this life that I can worry about, but there's at least one thing I don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not supposed to worry about anything, but let's face it.
Right. Oh,
I do.
Yeah.
You do too.
Yeah.
Everybody listening worries.
He worries about something.
Yeah. We're not supposed to. We're supposed to bring it to the Lord. We're supposed to bring it to our brothers and sisters. We're supposed to let people know when we're burdened.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I do know, that I do not have to spend eternity separate from God.
Right.
I don't have to. I choose to believe.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Man, beat that like a drum. Yeah, we've got 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 left. So, verse 25, he says also in Hosea, I will call them my people who are not my people. The one beloved who is not beloved, Hosea 2:23, and it shall come to pass in the place where it was said to them, you are not my people, these shall be called sons of the living God, Hosea 1:10.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
He was thinking about us all the way back
the whole
then.
time.
And it's so weird too, Casey, because Jewish boys at the age of 13 had to memorize whole sections of scriptures.
Yeah.
It's like, are they skipping over these?
Well,
is it too is it? They're
how many
can't mean what I think it means.
How many other ones did I know they had to have the Pentateuch?
Yeah.
Memorized.
Right.
Did they memorize?
Well, I think they had to.
Some of the prophets.
I think they had to memorize portions of Isaiah.
But they don't read Isaiah 38, Ezekiel 38. Oh gosh, I'm such a loony.
Yeah,
there's one of them that there's a certain chapter that they do not
Isaiah.
read. Isaiah. That's what I thought.
Where it talks about he was wounded for our transgression, by his stripes we are healed.
Yeah. Well, we can't understand that. Well, you don't understand because you're not reading it.
Well, when you I've seen people do this. They go out on the street in Israel and they interview two random guys and they read this passage. These Jewish guys don't know it comes from Isaiah. They're like, who is this talking about? And they all say it's Jesus. And they're like, well, how do you know that? And they give all their reasons. Did you know that this is in Isaiah? And they're like, no way.
Do you know James Rodia?
Yeah.
It's Christian's husband. It's a mutual friend of ours. He went to Israel. It was a tour. You get to ride on a bus with this guy. I guess when you go, I've never been, but I guess when they give you a tour guide, I guess that's your tour guide the entire time. So that way they get you the information.
Right.
And James had an opportunity because the guy was given the history. He was telling them about where Jesus walked. I mean, this is a Jewish tour guide, and he's giving all the historical places. They're going all over the place, and James had an opportunity where they were just taking in some sights, and James said, "So you're a Jew?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "But you're not a believer." He goes, "No." He goes, "You just gave us all of this information about everything, including Jesus." He goes, "Yep." And he goes, "You don't believe?" He goes, "No." He goes,
It's just his job to memorize
he
it.
goes, "Why?" He goes, "Why do you believe?" And James gave him, like, because of all the evidence and blah, 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 blah. And he goes on and on about all the things. Because James can do that. He's very poignant about all those things. And the guy said, "All that information's in your heart." And James goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Mine's all in my head. And it's just information." That's sad. And James, like, he goes, "Dude, I almost broke down and cried." And he's like, "Well, then let it penetrate." But it was just information. Like you just said, he had over and over and over again memorized all of the information, and all it was just information. So crazy.
It is crazy, and honestly, Casey, we're guilty of doing the same thing.
Sure.
Even in our own Bible, how often do we read? This is one of the reasons why Aaron, he never does a Christmas or an Easter service the same way twice.
Right.
Because
He doesn't want to fall into
how many times do we read the same passage of, like Luke 2?
Mm-hmm.
We read the same passage of scripture, and it just like we read it and we kind of yawn, and it's like, okay, Luke 2.
Yep.
And then we forget, we lose our sense of awe about what a miracle is happening right there in Luke 2. We as believers can be guilty of the same things, of reading the Jewish scriptures and allowing them just to become dull.
So I'm going to share this because I don't know why this happened. This was early on in our reading. I read for 10 minutes at home from 2 different places. So early on in Genesis 49, verse 10, "The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh comes, and to him shall be the obedience of the people." And I started to cry like a baby. I had to stop reading. That one verse just drove a stake right through my heart. And my wife is sitting behind me. She goes, "Hey, you all right over there?" But it was new, and I can't explain that.
Yeah, I've definitely had moments like that where I was feeling sorry for myself, telling God, man, I'm a horrible son, horrible person. Like, I'm not a good Christian. I was confessing my faults to God, and not like he doesn't know, but he tells us to confess our sins. So that's what I was doing. And I said, can you just tell me that you love me?
Ooh.
Like, can you just show me you love me? Show me that I'm saved. Like, I'm not kidding myself, right? And then I read, I gotta look it up.
And while you're looking, I had one of those moments where just on my way to the laboratory praying, kind of like, "Do you see me?" kind of a thing. I'm not even sure what I was praying now because it was such a long time ago. And I look up at the sky while I'm driving, and there was a shooting star. And I went silent for the longest time. And finally, I was like, "You didn't have to do that, but you did." I'm not saying you did it for me, but I was just like, "Man, you didn't have to do any of that." Anything. There didn't have to be stars in the sky. There didn't have to be beautiful trees on an island. There doesn't have to be a sunrise hitting the ocean. It was that shooting star that just kind of was like, kind of like sitting under a tree and Jesus saying, "I saw you under the tree. Do you even see me?"
It's the verse that says, "He who has began a good work in you."
Oh,
where is that?
Philippians.
Oh, is it Philippians?
Yep, Philippians 1:6. "Being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ."
Yeah, that's how far I got in my devotional reading after I got done praying. I can't explain to you the wave of love that I felt when I read that.
Yeah.
And I just I closed my Bible and I sobbed in my living room before anybody woke up and came downstairs. And I got up and made a pot of coffee and I started my day, and I was just like, that's what I needed to hear today. It's so amazing that God, when you ask him, he will talk to you. That was one of those times when I asked a specific question and God answered me.
Yeah. Yeah. You are not my people. They shall be called the sons of the living God. I mean, and so unworthy. You know, man. Verse 27. Isaiah also cries out concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, the remnant
Will be saved.
will be saved. So being a remnant of Israel does not mean being Jewish guarantees salvation or safety. A remnant is what's left over.
Yeah.
What is part of a whole.
Well, the sad part of that verse, Casey, is that most of Israel is not going to be saved.
No. And we talked about in the last podcast that more Jews are very politically left.
Yeah.
Liberal. It's
Yeah.
weird.
And
so weird.
And largely agnostic. Like
Yeah.
they don't believe
They
in
don't
anything.
even believe
They don't
in
believe
God.
in anything.
Yeah.
They see their religion as just a bunch of traditions, and you do this at this time, and you do this at that time.
Yeah.
But they don't have their temple, so it's like the most important part of their religion and worship is missing. So
Yeah.
it's really hard for an Israeli to really see what it all means when you can't do the most important thing.
I mean, they know that they're out of a miracle, considering how small they are. They know.
They still
know,
are.
They still are. So they know that is a miracle. But to get it past, man, because you can see a miracle, but it still becomes a spiritual thing, not a belief thing.
Yeah.
Again, like the tour guide.
Yeah.
I have all this information, but it's just information.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything. It's just sitting in my brain rotting. It is a heart condition.
Very sad.
Yeah. For he will finish the work and cut short in righteousness, because the Lord will make short work upon the earth. So both of these are from Isaiah 10:22 and 23. Man, the Lord will make short work. It doesn't seem like
seem like it's been short.
No.
But to God, his timing is different than our timing.
Yeah.
I've also heard it explained that once the tribulation starts up, we know it's 7 years.
Yeah.
Once all of that starts up, it's going to go fast.
Sure. Especially for those that are experiencing.
Yeah.
29. We're on verse 29.
Amazing.
And I've got a little bit here, but not a lot.
Go ahead.
Isaiah said before, unless the Lord of Sabaoth, I actually looked that word up once before, had left us a seed, we would have become like Sodom. We would have been made like Gomorrah. Isaiah 1:9.
Completely wiped off the map.
Completely wiped off the map.
And and seed is lowercase, so we're not talking about the Messiah.
Right.
We're just talking about, if we're taking things in context, there was a remnant left, right?
Yeah. I like looking stuff up. It's really important that if you see a word, even if you're reading and what you're reading doesn't catch whatever's going on in it, look it up. Sabaoth, meaning hosts or armies in Hebrew, used in biblical context to refer to God as the Lord of hosts, emphasizing his authority over both earthly and spiritual armies, highlights God's sovereignty and power, indicating his control over all creation, including angels and celestial bodies. In other words, he's in control of all of it.
Yeah.
Right? You can even go to the Hebrew, which I can't read. So I just found that too. Kind of fun. And Lord being in all caps obviously means his name being Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The one who collects, or the one who swells. Yeah. I like that. The one who collects, the one who swells.
He does collect, doesn't he?
He does. And he gets the increase, right?
Yeah.
Increase would be a swelling. Because that's what we want to do. We want to see the kingdom grow, right? I mean, it's not going to swell here. This is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Right?
Short work.
Ooh. Even though it doesn't seem like that.
Even though it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. I don't think we're going any further, even though there's only 3 verses left. Should we just finish it out?
No.
That was pretty heavy.
It was.
Man.
I wanted to talk about last Friday.
Dinner.
Yeah.
That was highly entertaining, especially once I realized that I needed to sit on the other side of the table, and I made my wife sit on the other. Because what it was, I was across from your wife.
Yeah.
You were across from my wife.
And we were talking across.
And Jeff and your mom were across the table.
They were on the ends, yeah.
Yeah, so it was you and Jeff, and then it was you, Jeff, my wife, me, your mom, and then your wife. So yeah. I kind of was like, wait a minute. I'm yelling across my wife. My wife's trying to talk across, like, hey, we need to move.
Yeah.
And watching them have conversation for me was just, I got caught up a couple of times. No, I didn't hear a word they said. Yeah. They were just talking about stuff, and I have no idea what they said. And we got to have some just silly conversation with Jeff. He was quite entertaining to talk to. We talked about movies and stuff. Sometimes about nothing at all.
Yeah, it was cool that they invited this random couple over
with our kids.
With your kids.
That's daring.
My mom's not afraid of anything.
Yeah, no, she really doesn't seem afraid of anything.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but she's not. She's an ed tech, so she does a lot of teaching, and she's been a nurse in an ICU.
Okay, she's got a lot of patience.
A cath lab.
Boy, once that dog came out,
oh yeah,
my kids could not have been more excited.
I know. I said, Mom, don't bring your dog down. We had a good time. I'm glad that it worked out that way. I'm just glad that we got to make that happen.
Yeah.
Your girls were like,
they were so good too.
They were awesome.
They were very well behaved. Yeah, they're very until the dog came out.
Yeah.
That's when it was like, oh my gosh, you've got a dog.
Well, I was worried because that little tiny dog, I mean, if you step on it, it's all done. And then I see Keith like literally jumping up and down, and I'm like, I'm looking at its little legs going, oh, that's it.
Oh, he was having a blast.
Yeah.
Did you hear the yelping that he did?
Yes.
So, okay, this is what happened. I stepped over the baby gate.
Yeah.
He wanted attention. Yeah. Like, he was wondering, like, where did everybody go? So I step over the baby gate. I get down on the floor, and he comes right up, and he cuddles.
Yeah.
And I'm petting him and touching his face, and he's doing this, like, whoa, whoa thing. It was really weird. And then he ran off.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way he bounced, I thought, oh, he wants to play. So I got down on all fours, and I did this with my hands. All of a sudden, his tail went between his legs, and he started yelping.
Yeah.
Like I'd stepped on him. And I was like, did I break the dog? So I said, come here, Teddy. Tail backed up, ears, well, no ears. And he runs up to me, and he cuddles up, and I'm like, that was by far the most bonkers thing I'd ever seen. I was just thinking he looked like he wanted to play, so I was like, well, I'll just tap the floor. Yeah. Oh no, don't do that. The alarm goes off.
I don't know.
That was so crazy.
It was weird,
dude. Those brownies were so good.
They were good. She never made brownies that good when I was a kid.
That's because Nate didn't need them.
No, I did. Yeah, it was fun though.
It really was
a good experience.
I was so tired.
Yeah,
I
was too.
Man, I just really needed to go to bed.
I had a rough.
You had a rough
Friday.
day. You had a bad day. I had a bad day.
Still dealing with it.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. Not everybody is ready for my program.
Right.
It's really sad to say that, but some people just aren't ready for it.
It's intense.
It is an intense program. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expectation.
Sure. When you find yourself in a situation where the law gets involved, there are rules you have to follow.
Yeah.
And you sign a paper, right?
Yeah.
And if you refuse to do certain things, then the law comes down and says, hey, you messed up.
It's not like a rise where if you break one of the rules at a rise, it gets addressed and or depending on what the rule is, they say.
Yeah, depending on the severity.
Now you have to leave.
Right.
Well, in my program, if you mess up, we don't let you leave. We don't kick you out of the program. You have to do something pretty bad over and over again.
Okay.
You have to show beyond a reasonable doubt this program's not working.
Gotcha.
Like, no matter what we've tried, you're not engaged in it.
Mm.
And, I mean, we have people who right now, I'm actually kind of surprised they're still in our program.
Oh.
Like, really surprised. From my point of view, it doesn't look like they care.
Yeah.
And then we have others who it doesn't take long for everyone to make their decision
You know Mike Warman.
Yep.
When he was in Oregon, he had a program.
Safe families.
We got involved with that because I had a family member who was not doing
What they were supposed to do.
what they should be doing personally. We're like, hey, what can we do? And he said, this is what we can do. And so he contacted her, and she said over the phone, I don't need this program.
You're just reiterating that programs are only as good as the
the person who wants it.
Yeah. If you want it, it's going to work for you. If
Yep.
you don't want it, it's pure
Yeah,
drudgery.
if you're just doing it because you're trying to be a good person, you know,
Well,
because a lot of people do that. Like they'll try to, like, oh, if I go into this program, I'm going to look like I'm trying to straighten my life out,
yeah.
which is great, but it's not internalized.
There's-
You're doing it for the wrong reason.
There's two people that come through my program, two types of people.
Yep.
There's the person who they're sitting in a jail cell and they're desperate to,
Right.
to have a start over.
Right.
And when they come into the program, they embrace it.
Right.
They're like,
And you know,
this is my last chance to fix my life.
Yep.
And you do know.
You know.
You can see it. You know,
this is not fake.
They go to all the meetings. They do all the assignments.
Do
They
all the
show
tests.
Yeah, they show up for everything that they're asked to do, and they're there to learn.
Mhm.
They're like, I don't know anything about myself and why I do the things that I do, and they take it as a learning experience.
Right.
And then you have other people who are like, I've got 8 years over my head, and they're offering me a way to stay out of prison. So this program is going to be really inconvenient for 2 years. So I'll do that because it means I'm not going to prison.
Right.
And honestly, I've seen a lot of people come in, and most people take treatment court so they don't have to go to prison.
Right.
And then you see the ones who let it change them. And then you see the other people who are just using it as a means to an end. And it's like, I've got probably a half dozen people I can put my finger on right now who, as soon as they graduate, are going to end up doing the same things they were doing before they came in. Because they're not actively trying to let the program change them, change their life. They're just doing it so they can stay out of prison. That's the difference between a rise and my program. You got to have the internal motivation, the internal motivator. That makes all the difference. Because otherwise, it's just behavior control, right? Just behavior control.
My brain's turning right now. I don't know if
Well,
you
we
can
should-
tell. Well, hold on. Romans 9:22 through 24, right?
Yeah.
Where it says, what if God, wanting to show his wrath and make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath, prepared for destruction, that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he has prepared beforehand for glory, even us whom he called, not only the Jews, but also of the Gentiles. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. And we're not always to know.
Right.
People make their choices. People do what they do. But are we staying faithful? And even to the ones that you're just like, man, stop knocking your head into that wall. You know, watching it sucks.
It really
I can't
does.
imagine when you go home at the end of the day and you're just, man, if that guy would just stop knocking his head into that wall. We started heavy and ended heavy.
Ended heavy. Some days that's the way it is,
It's just
guys.
going to be how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no perking this one up.
Like we just read, God, he's in control.
Yep.
And we're not. And we just have to have faith and trust in him that he knows what he's doing. He's made us these vessels. Are we going to be vessels of glory or an honor, or are we going to be vessels of dishonor?
And trusting and obeying doesn't always mean that you're going to be stepping on those nice, fluffy white clouds. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Sometimes trusting and obeying, you're going to fall flat in the mud. But when you do, are you cursing and yelling? Or are you just like, all right, one more time. I'll do that again. You know?
Well, the righteous man, when he falls, he gets back up. He starts over.
It's not always easy.
All right. Before we close, I want to draw everyone's attention back to the podcasty stuff.
Okay.
Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're listening and you like our podcast, please give us a review and please give us a 5-star rating.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you to do this because it makes our podcast show up in people's searches more often.
If you don't do a 5-star rating or even a 4-star rating, whatever, honestly, and you don't leave a review or a like, it'll be out there, but nobody's ever going to see it. Like if they click on a podcast, because it'll say, here's a podcast, it's like a podcast that you're listening to.
Yeah.
And that could happen all over the place.
Right.
We've got enough podcasts out there now that we're in the top
1%.
Less than that. It's like top 0.08 something. It's ridiculous. If you do 5-star ratings and likes and things like that, then those podcasts that people listen to that are like the podcast will pop up on those people's lists.
Right.
It is a gimmick. It's an algorithm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good algorithm.
We can use it to our advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys care. If you guys care, just help us out.
But yeah. So I hope you got something out of that. This was just heavy.
It was.
Heavy from beginning to end.
I think it's going to be heavy for a bit.
Yeah. When we go into the next section, it's the present condition of Israel.
Yeah.
And that just gets even more
totally
soaky.
Yeah.
So be prepared. And for extra credit, this has been fun. And
yes.
I mean, as heavy as it is, sometimes it is fun to kind of get that in the heart.
Yeah, and remember, everybody, don't just listen to podcasts and
read it
and count that as your daily devotion.
Right.
God wants us to have a personal relationship with Him, like alone time. Casey and I talking about God is not the same thing as you having a conversation with God.
Right.
He has things He wants to say to all of us individually.
Yep.
And Casey and I might not be touching on the thing that God wants to say to you.
Right.
So you have to do your own homework and your own time with the Lord. Thank you for listening to our podcast, but don't let us replace your own personal time.
Exactly. We're not. Yeah, you should not do that with us. Yeah, so thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us. Until next time, this has been Take Me Deeper. I am Casey Hill.
And I'm Nate Dudley.
God bless each and every one of you.
Grace and peace.
Like I come in the storm and shared your love with me. I'm like a darkened cloud, brought no land, raised your hand of love, and in my sweet Messiah, come and rescue me. Holy, triumphant King of majesty, honor and power, glory be. Jesus, take my heart. Lord Jesus, take my heart. Lord Jesus, take my heart and bring me to life.
Search function, which I can use whenever I want.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
That was really close.
I'm really sorry about that. Oh boy,
that almost ate that. You know, but do I?
You're doing it.
Oh, it's me today. For who has rested in His will, but it's edit.
In the fact that God chose deer. So he's welcome to Machias.
Sorry, Amanda, we're being distracted by a bunch of deer.
It's like a whole herd. The girl feeds them by hand, so they're always looking.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they eat right out of her hand. Anyway, so
yeah,
like
I mean, I lost it because I'm so sleepy. Rain on the just and the unjust.
It might take a little time for the podcast, but I gotta look it up. We can edit this part out. Searching part, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I had,
I'm still looking. Edit.
like we should play some music right now. That doesn't need to be in the blooper reel. Oh,
I'm losing it.
Yeah.
I thought it was in First Peter. Excuse me.
No. Yeah. Do I tell the stupid joke? So, a little girl praying, and what seems to her be an image. She can't make it out, but she hears a voice, and it just says, I hear you. And she says, Lord, to you, 1,000 years is like a day, and a day is like 1,000 years. And he goes, yeah. She goes, so what's $1 million? He goes, it's like a penny. She goes, Lord, I'd love to have a penny. And he goes, well, you're going to have to wait a second.
Wait a day.
My 9-year-old looked at me and goes, oh,
yeah,
I get it. Oh boy. That was in my daughter's devotion last night. Was that last night? No, that was the night before. I didn't read last night. Anyway, I read tonight. Not that matters to anybody. I read the devotion every other night. So anyway,
there was a is it the heater? Oh yeah, it's the heater. Okay. I'm just glad that
noises.
Well, I don't want to give Amanda too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Posted on our Facebook page that
we're recording
a couple days late.
Yeah.
She wants to be able to post this on Friday, so
yeah. She works very diligently at that.
I have nothing but good things to say about Amanda. Yeah. I don't know how she does it.
I don't either. I listen.
She'll everything.
She will. And this could be in the blooper. You can do whatever you want with this, but I want people to know that I have sat next to her, and we will say some of the. That is a weird term, the potato-headed thing. I still don't understand that. I found no definition for that. There's no context there. We did.
I don't get it either.
Well, in fact, I think Amanda might have posted some of those on Facebook.
Maybe.
If she hasn't, she should, because that was pretty funny. One of the AI generated answers is that Nate and Casey discussed this and that kind of potato-headedly, and I'm like, what does it even mean? I mean,
is
I'm
that
thinking
a
like
joke?
Mr. Potato Head, where you have the pieces and you put them together and then it makes something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. But I'm telling you,
you never know what kind of face each show's gonna have.
But I'm telling you, I have listened, and she will literally take a whole section, and it's gone. It's not in the blooper reel. It's gone because whatever was said, she's like, yeah, that was just for you and Nate.
Yeah,
and I'm like, but it's gone. Whatever, and I'll listen, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even know what we were talking about, but it was some just kind of back and forth between you and I. You guys don't get to hear all of it.
No.
But yeah, I mean, there are things that she just zaps out, and she tries to keep it on pace. But anyway.
All right, that is it for today, or tonight, almost today. If you enjoyed the live, I now have it on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, up on everything. So if you enjoyed it, please like, follow. I don't have my subscriptions up yet, or subscribe on YouTube. Well, that is it for today. I already said that. I'm gonna say this for everyone that is on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. Because I started a little later on everybody else. This year, instead of asking for birthday gifts, I'm asking for your help in supporting something I'm truly passionate about, which is the Take Me Deeper podcast. I am the sound guy for that. I'm raising. I set a fundraising goal for $5,000. Every dollar will go toward improving the podcast, investing in equipment that will help us grow for years to come. Want to donate $5, $25, $100, or simply share and pray for this. You can share the link on ko-fi.com/Daniel's Christian Content. That would be super appreciative. Pray for it. Pray for our podcast. Pray for all of us. Pray for the editor. Pray for the hosts. Pray for the background people. Which is me and my best friend. And again, sharing this would be also amazing. So that's it for today. And you guys have a good night or a good day wherever you are. And yeah, God bless.